17b. We didn't finish the blotch yesterday. The two dots. See the two dots? The Mishnah says, Umoder Rabbi Yeshua, Dom L'Chavero. Rabbi Yeshua agrees, concurs, that somebody says to a person, this was your father's field, and I purchased from him. And the one who says that, he has no deed. So it says he believes. He's believed. Why? Because hapesha peshit, meaning what is the basis why the original person, why does he understand it's his field? Because the person informed him. See, so he says, if you believe me that the field is yours, believe me that I bought it. And if you're not willing to believe me that I bought it, then don't believe me that it was your father's field. Because we're talking about the son has no proof that it was his field. So that's what the Gemara asks. The Gemara is going to ask, it's understood, listening, and we speak of the father. He said it was your father's field. And what is he presenting? The concept of peshos and peshiter. The basis to be believed that it's his father should be the basis to believe that it's his. So Gemara says, whoever listening, Moder Rabbi Yeshua, Bom L'Chavero Sodu Shelocho Iso, Ukachtia Mimcha. Let's say the same thing. It's communicating the same thing. What do we have to speak? He comes and says, by the way, this field was your father's. He should say, by the way, the man has no proof the field was his. He says, this field was yours. I admit it was yours. But the man has no proof it was his. And I bought it from you. He says, you never bought it. You're a thief. He says, if I'm a thief and you don't believe me, then there's no basis to believe me that it was yours. So what do we have to communicate this principle, Peshas Peshita, regarding the father? We're able to communicate it. It's even relating to himself, right? Listening, on that, the Gemara says the reason why we choose the case about the father because there's a concluding case. What concludes? The Kabbalah must be safe. What does it say in the conclusion of the Mishnah? So again, let's understand. Norman, I'm in the field. I got to know. I said, Norman, this field used to be your father's. Whether Norman has a recollection, it's irrelevant. Norman has no proof to prove that it was his father's field. And I said, it was your father's. I'm admitted, but I bought it from him. You said, no. Where's your deed? I said, I have no deed. Because I admitted it was yours, could you actually remove me from the property? Rabbi Shua says, no. Because that's called pesha osa pesha. The same statement that created a problem for himself by admitting was his, that same person is able to what? To excrete himself from the problem. Because if you believe me on A, believe me on B. If you don't believe me on B, don't believe me on A. Okay? That's Rabbi Yeshua. We didn't get there yet. Let's say he's there one day. First day he's there, he loses his document. He loses his deed. He has no deed. He has no witnesses that he was there. And then the son comes and says, get out of my father's field. He says, who are you? He says, it was my father's. He says, do you have proof it was your father's? He says, no. But it was. If the man would want to tell him, have a good day, the one who acted president, he could tell him, have a good day. You have no proof it's yours. It's your word against my word. I'm here to stay. But he goes and he says, it's true. What you're saying is true, but I bought it. He says, but where's the document? Where's the deed? So he says, look, if I wouldn't admit that it was yours, I'd tell you, have a good day. So I admitted that it was yours. So as you believe me that it was yours, believe me I had a document. And if you say my word has no value, so it has no value even regarding that it was yours. Therefore, Rabbi Shua says he's believed. But what about if he'd come with witnesses? Let's say the son would come with witnesses. And the witness would say, this was this person's father's. And it's within 3 years. So where's your deed? So what? Then he has to get out of the field. Because there's a problem with you should have a deed. So that's what the Gemara discusses now. If he's there 3 years, even if you have witnesses, it shouldn't make a difference. And if it's within 3 years, he has no deed, he's out. Okay? The Mishnah includes if the son has witnesses that it was his father's, and he says, but I bought it from your father. So Gemara says, hey, now how many years, the person who was occupied, how many years, now we'll discuss, how many years was he in the field? Right? If he has proof that he was there 3 years, right, and he lived in the field like an owner for 3 years, why doesn't he believe? So what if you have witnesses that the field originally, if I have a deed, and you bring witnesses it was yours, so what does the deed say? The deed says either it was gifted to me or I bought it. So if I'm there 3 years and I can prove I'm there 3 years, 3 years chazaka is the equivalent of having a deed. And if he wasn't there 3 years and he has no deed and he has witnesses that it was his father's, Pshita, lo memen. It's understood he's not believed. So what does the Mishnah have to conclude? If the witness is, you remove him from the field. It's understood. If he's there 3 years, that doesn't make any sense. And if he's not there 3 years, so what's the Mishnah told me? A chiddush. It's posher. It's understood. Shmuel says, what? Norman, it's clear? Okay. Howard, you have some commentary here? Okay, no sermonizing on this one. Okay. Somewhere asks, Ihochi Gabi Oviv Namig? So regarding his father, the same thing. Idoch l'shnei chazoko amay lo mehemin. V'loch shnei chazoko pshito lo mehemin. So we're differentiating. If we're saying the reason why we had to speak about the case of the father, not him, because if it's regarding him, it's understood. You don't have 3 years, you're out. But regarding the father, there's a chiddush. That even if you're there 3 years, but since the 3 years are divided between the father and the son, therefore that's not sufficient. We don't combine the two. So you can't prove you're there 3 years. But since it wasn't the presence of one person to protest, therefore you should have your document. You have to, the burden of proof is on the one who occupies the property, he says. No. Bishlam Gabi Yoviv Mishkachos, though we have a case where it's a chiddush, that even if you're there 3 years, you're not believed. What's the case? He occupied the field 2 years when the father was alive. Right? So 2 years is not a chazak, you need 3 years. In the presence of the same person. Now the father dies, now the son comes into the picture. So the son, he should protest. But how many years does he see the field is occupied? Under his jurisdiction? 1 year. So even though you're there 3 years, but factually, since it's two different owners, even though one's an heir and one was the original, was the father, but it wasn't the person, a person cannot tolerate seeing his property occupied illegally and remain silent for 3 years. But either person never saw the full 3 years. The father died after 2 years, and the son, when he became the owner, it's only 1 year. So that's the chiddush. That even though you're there 3 years, nevertheless, it's not sufficient proof that you bought the property. That's what the Mishnah is saying. A person originally takes possession, takes over a piece of property, but the property belonged to a minor. You could stay there for 10, let's say the minor is 3 years old, and you're there for 7 years. Today's 10. And you feel comfortable, and you don't have a document. And then afterwards, you say, what are you doing here? He has to produce the document. Because you don't expect a minor to what? To protest. He's a minor. What about he occupied it from before, and then the minor became an adult? Because the minor became an adult, the person already has been there for many years when he was a minor. We say that he remained silent as an adult doesn't mean anything, because he already preoccupied. He occupied before he became an adult. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So when does he realize that it's his father's? He only realizes that his father's when the witnesses inform it's his father's. So that he didn't protest is not an indication of anything. So that's the chiddush in the Mishnah. That if he brings witnesses that originally was his field, and even though you were there for many years, nevertheless, unless you have the document, you're out. That's what the Mishnah is telling me. So the Gemara answered, Rav Huna masdisa os lashminon. Good question. Rav Huna is namora, correct? If something is explicit in the Mishnah, a namora is here to elucidate a Mishnah. But if something is explicit in the Mishnah, I don't need a namora to tell me what the Mishnah says, correct? So the Gemara says, if there's no other way to understand the Mishnah other than what Rav Huna is saying, there's no other way to understand it. So what's Rav Huna coming to inform me? You understand? If the only way you're able to understand the Mishnah is, meaning it was divided between the father and the son, and the Mishnah tells me you don't combine the two, so Rav Huna has to come tell me you don't combine the two. The Mishnah tells me you don't combine the two. That's the first question. Rav Huna masdisa os lashminon. Rav Huna is coming to inform me what's stated in the Mishnah. Ibo same Rav Huna dafka diyuka masdisa kamar. Rav Huna is only telling you where does he derive his understanding. It's from what's inferred from the Mishnah. So that's easy. You're right. Rav Huna is not coming to tell me any chiddush. He's just saying, what I'm saying, I see, there's no other way to understand the Mishnah. There's no other way. That's the Chiddush. The Chiddush is that even if you became an adult and you were in his presence for a number of years, also not. Not. Somewhere says, listening b'didei. Now he says, so if we're saying that the Chiddush is that even if you occupy more than 3 years, you still have to have the deed. We have a case, even by the same person. What's the case? Listen to the story. Let's say a person, he occupied the field 2 years in front of the person, the son, and then the son had to flee. So he had financial problems. They were out to get him. His creditors were out to get him. So over there, he couldn't divulge his whereabouts. So you're occupying the field for 3 years, but the person who owns it, there's no proof that he didn't protest. His silence is not indication that you're the owner, because he couldn't protest. We'll see. He fled. Now, why did he flee? If he fled because somebody was out to kill him, to take his life, pshita, lo mehemen. Why lo motzi mochi? It's understood. You're not believed. Because what is the basis for 3 years? The 3 years is the equivalent of the document. Why, the owner, if it's yours, why did you protest? But this man, if he would protest, what would have happened? He would have divulged where he is. His life's in jeopardy. And if the reason why, because his creditors are after him, you should have. Does make a difference. Because there, the person, if you're at a distance, the person will protest. So Mora says, the kaimelon, because even though you're not there, even if a person protests from another location, ultimately word is going to get back, because the Mora Tosa says over here, a person after 3 years feels secure. If he doesn't have anybody contesting his rights, he feels secure, he misplaces the document. What about the original owner? Wherever he is, he's always looking from a distance after his property, because if he's not around, he's worried somebody's going to be stealing his property. So he's always asking about the property, even if he's in another city. And what does he do? And he could launch a protest from wherever he is. It could be 1,000 miles away. Because ultimately, the caravans that travel, and word will get back to the person there that he shouldn't be there. Somewhere says, even if the protest is not done in the presence of the one who occupies the field, it's considered valid because word travels. We learned in the Mishnah of Abasha, the 3 locations in Eretz Yisrael which you're able to have a chazokah. What are they? Yudah ve'yardim v'agolio. What are they? Hoye b'Yehuda v'hersel b'Golio. B'Gol hersel b'Yehuda in a chazokah. Now, in the olden days, when originally there were certain times where there was a travel ban. Each second of Yerushalayim was like governed by a different government, and therefore you couldn't travel freely from Yehuda to Golil or Golil to Yehuda, back and forth. So let's say you had a property in Golil and you were in Yehuda. Even if you protest, word's not getting back. It's not getting back to the person in the field. Right? So therefore, in terms of the original owner, he did what he was supposed to do. He brings witnesses, I protested. But he says, but I never heard it. I never heard the protest. But you can't blame the man. He did what he was supposed to do. I did not remain silent. He brings witness, I didn't remain silent. Okay, so that's what we're saying. There you have to make the protest in the region that you are. That's what it says. The 3 lands, 3 locations there which you have a chazokah. Yehuda, Ever Yad is the Transjordan side, Vagoli. Hoye Behuda. Let's say he was in Yehuda, and the person occupied the property in Golil. Begoliv Hersel Behuda. Ain't a chazokah. It's not a chazokah. Achi Imo Bebedina. The owner and the one who occupies the field, they have to be in the same region. Right? Vavina Mike Sovar. So the question is why? If actually you don't have to launch the protest in the presence of the one who occupies the land, so what does the Mishnah say? That if you're in different regions in Eretz Yisrael, it's not a protest? Even if you're in the same region, unless you protest directly in his presence, he doesn't know. No. If you launch a protest wherever it is, word travels. People travel, they say, this man claims you shouldn't be in his land, his property, because the caravans. The Mishnah says we have 3 regions, there's a Shas Cherum. Shas Cherum means it's like a Cold War. It's like, when we learned this many years ago, the example we gave was East Berlin, West Berlin. Right? I mean, yeah, checkpoint Charlie could go through, but how many people went through? There wasn't free access. So let's say a person would protest in East Berlin. You think the person in West Berlin would hear about it? He doesn't hear about it. So he could prove he protested, but word never got. So the whole concept of chaver chavres, your friend has a friend and his friend has a friend, otherwise word will travel. It doesn't travel, it doesn't work. That's shas cherum. It's a time of cherum. Okay? How does he translate in English? Cherum? Time where they're like, it means literally excommunicated. They behave like they're in an excommunicated state. There's no communication. So why we say the stam Yudah v'Goliel shas cherum, because there was this always breakdown of relations between Yudah and Goliel. So therefore, word would never travel. There wasn't much communication between Yudah and Goliel. We're on Yud Ches and Aleph. But on the bottom, how does he? Oh, how does he explain kishas cherum in English? It's like a time of cherum. Hostility. Cherum means okay. Meaning it means like cherum means it's like there's no same thing. It's like excommunicated. It's like each one sees the other one as an excommunicated state. There's no communication. No, so the guy who has the field, he has to produce his document. If he doesn't have the document, he's out. Why? Because the main proof is from the one who should have protested. He brings I protested. I did mine. He didn't hear about it. That's his problem. He has to prove that he had the document. See, normally the proof of the document is that you didn't protest. So the silence is, but here I said I wasn't. You didn't hear about it. That's your problem. You didn't hear about it. Let's say the one who occupied the field was in the hospital. He says, it's not my fault. We're not faulting you. But you have to, what's the proof? You have no proof, you're out. That's the rationale. Everybody had a deed. But, they didn't have a land office where you recorded a deed. So if you don't record the deed, so how long did a person keep a deed? Only until he felt comfortable. Once he felt secure, it would go lost, the deed. He never would have stored it. It would go lost. Yeah, but what about if he heard somebody contesting his rights to be there? He'd hold on to that deed for dear life. Otherwise, because if he doesn't have that proof, he's out. They're going to put him out. Usher. Good morning. Someone asked a question. Listening, Modrib Shubamel Chavero Mono Lavisi Mimcho Parati Loch. Shunemon. He says, if we want to speak about Peshos Peshita, what do we speak about? The land, right? What's the example? Man, Reuven comes to Jim and says, this field used to be yours. Used to be yours. I bought it from your father. Used to be your family. Peshos, why don't we say a very simple case? Reuven goes to Shimon, he says, I borrowed $100 from you. And Shimon says, it's true. And then the borrower says, but I paid you. Peshos Peshita. Reuven, the so-called lender, borrower, has no proof that he lent him the money. So what's the basis to believing that the money was owed? The borrower admits, I borrowed. But he says, if you borrow, believe me, I borrowed. Believe me, I paid. You don't want to believe me, I paid. Don't believe me, I borrowed. Either you trust me or don't trust me. So why does he have to speak about property? Let's talk about a regular case, Peshos Peshita. That even though I admit that I owe you money, and what's the chiddush? The chiddush is when you borrow, you don't have to pay back in the presence of witnesses. You say, if you borrowed, you should have witnesses. No, you don't have to repay in the presence of witnesses. So that's Peshos Peshita. Okay? Someone says, why doesn't Rabbi Shua say that case? Why does he have to present this principle regarding real estate? Regular case. Not everybody has real estate. Everybody borrows. I borrowed a dime from you. I repaid the dime. Yeah. Samar says, of course, we want to say the concluding case. It says, we couldn't say the concluding statement. With property, we say if the witness is that he originally owned it, then you're out. Right? What about regarding a loan? If you borrowed, even if you borrow with witnesses, you don't have to repay with witnesses. So if that's the case, how are you going to conclude the Mishnah? And if the witnesses you borrowed, you're not believed. What do you mean not believed? We rule halacha that even if Reuven lent Shimon a witness, Shimon the money in the presence of witnesses, when he repays the loan, it does not be in presence of witnesses. So witnesses, we make the differentiation, can only be discussed in what context? Only regarding real estate, property. But regarding a loan, it can't, because that's not the case. Somebody could say, if I lent you with witnesses, that means I wanted to establish the fact that you owe me the money. So when the man says I paid, he says, you're not believed. We say it's not the case. Even though a person lends a man with witnesses, he's believed to say, why? Because this is the thing. The Gemara says in Shavuos, people have short memories. They have short memories. I say, I lent you $100. He says, I don't remember. You bring witnesses, okay? You can't deny that you never borrowed. Here we're discussing, he's not saying he never borrowed. He says he paid. So why does a person want witnesses? Not to determine that you paid. Look, if I didn't trust you, I'd never lend you the money. But people forget. So because people forget, that's why I lent you in the presence of witnesses. And in case you forget, I'll present the witnesses. They'll remind you borrowed. But paying, if I suspect you're going to lie to me, something, I'm not lending you. We're talking about an interest-free loan. Why should I lend you an interest-free loan if you're going to give me problems? I'm not going to lend you. So therefore, even if it was mal v'chaver b'eidim, nevertheless, when I pay, I don't have to pay in the presence of witnesses. Because the reason why the lender wanted witnesses is not because he didn't trust him. It's because he's concerned he may forget. It happens. So Marius listening to Rabbi Shua b'om l'chaver monulo v'cha b'yodi v'chaltif pras. Oh, now it's a good question. What's the halacha? If a person is kofar hakol, what's the halacha? Kofar hakol, you don't swear. On the Torah, you don't swear kofar hakol. Full denial. We're talking on a Torah level. You don't swear. Whatever motive makes us, your partial admission, you swear on a Torah level. Okay. So the Gemara is asking a question. Why don't we say the case like this? He comes to him and says, he says, I owed your father 100. His father, again, I'm talking about the father. I owed your father 100, and I paid him 50% of the loan. Okay? Right? So the halacha is he doesn't have to swear. Doesn't have to swear. What's the reason? The son knows nothing about this. It's the same idea. Pesha asa pesha itir. How do you know I owe? Because I admitted I owe. It's not where he made a claim. He came and said, I borrowed from your father 100, and I paid your father 50%, $50. Right? The son says, no, I don't believe it. If you lent my father 100, my father always took, either was all or nothing. That's what the son says to the man. The man says, something. If you're going to believe me that I borrowed, believe me I paid 50%. You don't want to believe me, don't believe me whatsoever. Right? That's what the man could say. So why don't we say that case? It's a good case. If the father would be here, he'd make the claim. You have to swear. But over here, what is the basis why he owes the money? The man's admitting. So I say to him, I borrowed $100 from my father, I paid him $50. The son says, impossible. My father, it's either all or nothing. It's irrelevant what you say. Either you believe me or don't believe me. You don't want to believe me, I paid half the don't believe me, I even borrowed. Right? Shu neman, aliba deman. Yeah, leave drabonon. How many meshav veda havo? He says, what do we have to say? There's an argument like this. Interesting question. I go and I find a lost article, a wallet, and I return it to the one who lost it. And then afterwards, the man says, when I lost this purse, it had $200 in it. The finder says it only had $100 in it. So really, his motive mix us. The one who lost it, he could obligate the finder to swear. We're going to have him swear. People will not return the lost articles. Here I'm trying to do the man a favor. Now the man is giving me a problem. So the Chachomim say, something? Rabbinically, we cancel the shvuah. Because otherwise, people, you find all kinds of people. You want to hear a story? There was a story during World War II. There was a thing called war bonds. So my grandmother, Shalom, she was second husband. He was traveling on the bus, and he saw a brown paper package. Somebody left it on the bus, wrapped, with cord. Judy, you got to hear this one. Wrapped with cord, and it was like brown wrapping paper. Picks it up, comes home, he goes to my grandmother. He says, I got a present for you. Puts it down on the table. My grandmother opens it up. War bonds were like certificates, no name on it. You just had to sign it, and there were $1,000 bonds, each one worth $1,000 cash. This is World War II. War bonds. They were between $50,000 and $75,000. I'm not sure of the amount. Tremendous amount of money, and it had an address in it. It had a name and address. Who lost it? Somebody was a butcher on the Lower East Side. So my grandmother calls up the person, to him. It's a lot of money, $75,000 worth. She got to put it in a pocket. Forget about the man. Calls him up. Says, oh, the man was so happy. Comes down, counts. He says, something missing. Could you imagine? Something missing. You know what you tell a man, like, I could have pocketed everything. Told you, goodbye, Charlie. I was nice enough to return it. Now you're going to say, what, I'm the thief? You accuse me of taking something that's not mine. But that's the story. So you could imagine if you'd even impose an oath on the person. Next time, never again. Not returning anything. So therefore the Chachomim, they went and they canceled the obligation to swear. You're absolved from swearing. So over here, this man is nice enough, comes to the son, and he says to the son, I borrowed $100 from your father, I paid him 50%. The son says, no, you owe me the full amount. If it's like the Chachomim, they write, what do I need the Mishnah to tell me? The Chachomim are of the opinion, you don't swear. It's understood you're believed. Okay? The Rabbi Lezben Yaakov Omer Shua Boy. The Tanya, where does it say? The Tanya. Rabbi Lezben Omer Pom Shadim Nishbal Tainus Atzmo. The times a person has to swear even though he's the one who admitted the evidence. Ketzad. Mono Lavicha Biodi. The case. A person says, Mono Lavicha. A person says, your father owed me $100. Mana Lovi, your father had $100 in my possession. I borrowed $100. Let's say he's a shomer. He's a shomer. Your father left $100 for custodianship by me. Bechalta pras, and I returned him. He took 50%, so I only have 50% left. Hareza nishba. Yeah? So although he's the one who informed the son that he has the money, Rabbi Lezben Yaakov says he has to swear. Even though there was no claimant. Nobody made a claim here. Doesn't make a difference. You have to, that's Rabbi Lezben. No, there's no different in returning a lost article. Just as over there, there's no motive in mikzas, here also. He's doing a favor. Because the son knew nothing about it. Someone asked a question, Rabbi Lezben Yaakov, Leslie Beishav Avedu Potter. Rabbi Lezben Yaakov doesn't agree. How could you disagree with this concept? People are going to stop returning lost articles. I'm nice enough to tell you that I have the money. Now you're coming making a problem for me and to cause me to swear. So how could Rabbi Lezben Yaakov say you have to swear? I mean, he rejects the concept of Meishav Avedo. Omer Rab v'tono koton. Tono koton. Yeah, we're speaking. There is a claim. You're right. If there's no claimant, there's nobody making a claim. Everybody agrees. You don't swear. Here, you know what happened? A minor came. Now, to make a person swear, you have to have a person who comes with a claim. Let's say, so if an adult came with a claim, you owed my father $100. So it's like saying, you owe me $100. What about if a minor came? He's not bar mitzvah. And he says, you owe my father $100. The question is, the claim of a minor, is it considered a claim? Or we have to wait till it becomes an adult? So that's the argument here. Rabbi Lezben Yaakov holds, since not Meishav Veda, the man is a custodian, and he says to him, you have $100 of my father. So he's making the claim. You have $100 of my father, and the man says, I returned 50%. So since there is a claim, does he have to swear, although a minor is making the claim? It's a regular motive in mikzas. It is a motive in mikzas. Right? It happens to be, but the one who made the claim is a minor. Right? Marsavar, what's that? So we're saying, Betono kot. So we're back to square one. But everybody agrees that if it's a minor's claim is not a claim. On the Gemara says, my koton godel. We're speaking, no, it's an adult making the claim, but he's making a claim on behalf of his father. So we say, Sonny. Sonny, what are you talking about? Because a child is not involved in the affairs of the monetary affairs of the father. So when he comes, it's like a minor coming to make the claim. Yeah? Because regarding his father's affairs, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So if that's the case, you have no claim. Tainas acherim, Shemar says, Tainas acherim v'odos atzmo. Kulu Tainas acherim hu v'odos atzmo ninu. 1 second. There you go. My pomim, the koma, my Tainas atzmo. There's no Tainas atzmo. If we're saying that we look at it, that we don't give any credence to his claim, so why is it called Tainis? It's Tainis Acherim. He's coming and making the claim on behalf of his father. And the shomer, the custodian, is admitting. This is very important. What's the rationale? Why, when a person makes a partial admission, once Torah say you have to swear? Seemingly he has a migu. On a Torah level, kofar hakol doesn't swear. If you totally deny. Partial admission, you know something. I want to be an honest man. If I want to be dishonest, I could have denied it totally. I'm being honest, I say 50%. So why isn't that? That's a migu. That should prove that I'm honest. You only need the oath to prove that I'm honest. I have a migu to prove that I'm honest. That's the question. You're not swearing on the no, the Gemara right now is asking on the Torah. Why does the Torah obligate a person to swear by motive and mitzvahs?
So it's not on the money. It's on what you didn't pay. You have to swear that you didn't.
I'm not getting did what, when. Let's talk. I'm not getting into lumdus. Let's talk about just fact. Why does a person have to swear by motive and mitzvahs? He has a migu that he's telling the truth. Right? You'd have to. What am I swearing on? It's no relevance. So you're getting distracted. You got a lamda and gets distracted. Okay? We're simple people here, learning Pashup Shat. Migu is a verification. Believe me, I'm honest that I owe you 50% because I want to be dishonest. I could have said I owe you nothing, and I don't swear. So now you make me swear when I say I owe partial. I proved to you I'm honest already. Yeah, very simple. Simple logic. Judy, you with me? I don't think so. Okay? Judy's a Modian. What? Bavli. Okay. So on that, the Gemara says, Omer Rabba, Ma'om Retorit, Moda B'Mikza, Tiny Yeshua, Chazok, Eno Demeis Pamuk, Nebal Chovel. Hear this? The truth is, it's easier to make a partial admission than make a total denial when you know I'm lying in your face. Yeah. Unless you come to you, $100. I say, I owe you nothing. It takes quite a bit of chutzpah to say, I owe you nothing when you're making a claim and you know, and I know you know I owe everything. So what I say? I only 50%. So 50% is, I'm giving you something, and I can live with myself, although you know the balance, because you know something, I don't have the money to pay for now. I'm pushing you off. I'm pushing you off till later. To say I don't owe you whatsoever, that's already too much. I mean, how arrogant could you be? The average person is not that arrogant. Okay? Migu is, believe me on this because I could have said something else, but you wouldn't have said. You wouldn't have made a full denial. Right? Because a full denial is already too much. Really, he would have wanted to deny everything because the man doesn't have the cash. Doesn't have the cash to pay. Why? So why did he make the full denial, although he doesn't have the money to pay? Man doesn't have that degree of insolence. He doesn't have that degree of chutzpah. Right? So therefore he makes a partial admission. Really, the truth is, he would admit everything. He owes everything. But if he admits everything, the guy's on his back. The man is taking away his house already. Right? Or his car. Right? Even with the unpaid fines. Taking his car already. Okay? It's a private joke. So why didn't he make the full admission? He really would want to make the full admission. Because if he would, because he wants to somehow wiggle out of it. He wants to put the person off. He says, when I'll have the money, I'll pay him, but right now I don't. So if I make the full admission, immediately he's on my back for the money. So I'll make a partial admission. It'll be on my back for less money. But you know what Torah says? Put a shvu on him. Let to admit that he owes it all. Right? Because if he swears, I only owe you this. Okay, he's swearing. But if he doesn't swear, the man's not going to take a false oath. So therefore he'll admit that what? That he owes the balance. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Sova lo shno bo lo shno bivno. Ain't no demeus. Hear this? The lender himself, I don't have the chutzpah to lie in the lender's face. The lender knows, I'm not going to lie. What about the son? The son comes with a claim. No, the son's not my borrower, is not my lender. My son doesn't know what's going on. It's easier to lie to the son than to lie to the father. Because the father is actually the one you're involved with. Right? That's Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov. Rebbe Lezer Sova lo shno bo lo shno bivno. Ain't no meus. Rabbi Leslie, a person does have the chutzpah not to the father, not to the son. If that's the case, it's a motive b'miktzas. When you say to the son, I owe 50%, it's a regular motive b'miktzas, because you don't have a migu. He'll call chlad meishaveid havi. Rabbon and Savi know, bohu deina meis. He won't have the insolence to the father. Al b'beno meizu meis. He will lie. So for the son, he has a migu. When the son comes and makes a claim, you owe my father 100, I say 50, I have a migu. Because with you, I'll lie in your face. I could have denied it. With the father, you won't. So that's the argument over here. So therefore, we're speaking about, right? So therefore, that's the reason why we don't speak about that case of what? Im yesh edim, with a motive b'miktzas. Okay? Mishnah. Now, a document, to be able to be viable, that you should be able to collect with it, has to be substantiated. It has to be a certified document. Let's say you bring a document. It says in the document, Ruvain borrowed $100 from Shimon and signed 2 witnesses. You cannot collect with that document unless the debtor wants to pay. Why? He could say, you know something? You have to prove to me the document is a legitimate document. Maybe it's a forgery. Right? It's called kiyum. You have to substantiate document. You have the witnesses to come say these are our signatures. Or you take another document that was substantiated through the witnesses themselves and you compare the signatures. And if the signatures, they match, then the court substantiates. That's a valid document. But if you're not able to do that, the debtor could say, you know something, prove to me the document's authentic document. You have to bring me the authentic document. Till you bring the authentic document, I don't pay. And he has a right to say that. That's the story. I was reading, what was it? Reb Chaim did the Tziv. Tziv was, Shiva Volozhin. So they were maskilim, and they did whatever they can to undermine, destroy the yeshiva. So what happened? This time the czar. So the czar comes. So all of a sudden, soldiers come to the Tziv, to his house. They surround the house. They go in, and without saying a word, they confiscate all his writings and all the letters, all his correspondence. And they put it in sacks. He says, what's going on? He says, and they show him a letter that he had written with his signature on it. That somebody's bringing him counterfeit rubles from England, and he'll exchange it, this and that, and they're going to distribute counterfeit currency in Russia. And the document is signed with the Tziv's signature. So the soldier comes in and says, is this your handwriting? He says, yes. He says, if that's the case, you're on the house arrest. We're confiscating everything in the house, all the documents, all the whatever it is, and we're going to see if the signatures match. The way it seems, you admit itself, and there's going to be a decision. Couldn't imagine. He never signed on it. So he said immediately, it's a forgery. It seems to be, but it's not. He never signed such a document. They said, we'll let the judge decide. It's interesting. The Tziv's name was Tzvi Yehuda. Tzvi Yehuda Berlin. Okay? Tzvi ends with a Yud and Yehuda starts with a Yud. Whenever the Tziv signed his name, the Yud of Tzvi and the Yud of Yehuda was connected. He always connected the 2 Yuds. Like it was written like one Yud. That's the way he always signed, like, script, one into the other. Whoever this forger was perfect on Tzvi, perfect on Yehuda, but the Yuds weren't joined. So he said to me, but he called the man back. He said, I want you to tell the judge, take a look at every one of my signatures. Every Yud of Tzi and Yehuda, they're combined, they're connected. This document, it's not. The forger didn't pick up that when he signs, he always joins one into another. And he was vindicated through that. They let him go immediately. Okay? So we're talking about substantiating a document. You can bring a forgery, say, you owe me money. What do you do? You got a problem. You have to go prove that it's not a forgery. No. They said, look, until it's substantiated and certified it's valid, you cannot collect money unless the man wants to pay you. Okay? So that's what we discuss now in the Mishnah. Okay? On Torah level, this is rabbinical. Rabbinically, the shtar has to be substantiated. Okay? Ha'edim shomru ksav yodeinu huzeh. Witnesses say, right, you want to substantiate a document. 2 witnesses say this, these are signatures. Ksav yodeinu, this is our signatures. They admit. Avla nusam hoyu, but he says, but when we signed, we were forced to sign. It was under coercion. So let's say it was a monetary document. So, we signed under duress. They threatened, if we don't sign, they're going to kill us. Right? So what is it? So it's meaningless. The document has no value. Kitanim hoyinu. Let's say he said, when we signed the document, we were minors. Minors. Minor is not a valid witness. Psuli edus hoyinu. Then when we signed, we were related to them. I was his brother-in-law then. Since then, I'm not his brother-in-law any longer, because his wife died, whatever it was. Harel and them on it, they believed. They believed to say we was under duress, we were minors, or we weren't valid witnesses. Now, what about if you have other witnesses? Normally, let's say you have two witnesses. Very interesting. Two witnesses say Ruvain borrowed money from Shimon, and other two witnesses say Ruvain couldn't have borrowed money because Ruvain was elsewhere. So what is that called? It's called trey u'trey. It's contradictory testimony. Two witnesses say one way, two witnesses say the other way. So what? You don't pay because you're not sure who's. One of the groups are lying. We don't know which one. Correct? So over here, you have a document unsubstantiated. I say, I was a minor, I was forced, I was what? That's what he says. So what is the value? If they would have said nothing, could you collect with the document? Hello? You couldn't collect. So now it's our signatures. So they substantiate it. It's peshos peshidir. As you believe it's mine, believe me, I was a minor. As you believe it's my signature, believe me that what? That it was under duress. What happens if other witnesses coming and say, these signatures are authentic signatures? They say they were authentic. They're not believed any longer. They say we were minors, who was under duress. They're not believed any longer. It'll be minimally a trey u'trey. It'll be a trey u'trey. No, you can't. We'll see. Well, it depends on what they're saying. Let's say they said we signed because we were bribed. So Mar says you're not permitted to say it. That's Eino Demei Sponsor Russia. Then you're incriminating yourself. Say if nobody's here, I can say anything I want, because if the document has no value without me, and now when I say it in a way where it also has no value, what have I changed? I've changed nothing. But if I have witnesses giving credibility to the document, now I say I was bribed to sign. I'm not believing you. Eino Demei Sponsor Russia. You're not believed. What's the value of testimony? To validate it. It's a valid document. You want to incriminate yourself to validate the document. I believe to incriminate. If the document was never... Now you're incriminating yourself. If a person signs a falsely because he's bribed, what is he? He's a Russia. That's Eino Demei Sponsor Russia. It's not even the trey u'trey. That's what I'm explaining to you. It's not even the trey u'trey. No, it's not a question of punishing. We don't accept your testimony. We reject your testimony. And therefore, the document remains intact. If there are no witnesses at all, and I come and say, I was bribed to sign, before you said, open your mouths, the document have any value? It had no value. It wasn't a certified document. You want to say something to leave it uncertified. You understand? It's okay. It's irrelevant what you're saying. Your incrimination has no value, positive or negative. You understand? That's the concept peshos and peshit there.